Shelter in place, social distancing, busy schedules, there's a lot that keeps us grounded, but wildlife, especially birds, don't have to play by those rules. Birdwatching has really taken flight. It gets us out, active, involved, and interested in nature. And in its simplest form, it's free. In this video, we have birds on the brain, how to be a birder in your backyard and beyond.
But anybody can create a backyard environment with just some planning and that will really yield some enjoyment.
Susan Davis certainly has. She shares her love of birds and expertise with the Parks Department of Fishers, Indiana. In her backyard, she set the stage and a buffet for all kinds of birds. They return the favor with a show of color and song.
We have a diversity of habitats. We've got several wetlands, a swamp, a marsh, a fen. So all of those means diversity of birds as well. We have documented over 150 species of birds at the property.
Danessa Stoltz is the chief naturalist for the Fishers, Indiana Parks Department. Her backyard is big, the Ritchie Woods Nature Preserve, a perfect place to take birding a step further.
It's a wonderful hobby to do alone, with your children, as a family, and as you are learning birding, finding a group that you can bird with, people who already know more than you do, who can share their knowledge. Just being outdoors, with COVID and everything that's happening, we're limited on what we can do indoors. We're limited on places to go and visit, but the outdoors is never closed. Nature's always open.
The most common bird at the feeder is going to be a cardinal, a tufted titmouse, a lot of sparrows, or we call those LBJs, little brown jobbies, because sometimes you can't tell them apart. Some birds, like cardinals, finches, and woodpeckers, are year-round visitors. Some are migratory or seasonal, including one of her favorites, hummingbirds. We have another video on these little beauties. So to have a variety as well as a variety of food, that helps attract different birds. In this one I have sunflower, I have some regular peanuts, and then up here I have Niger seed, which is really attractive to the smaller birds like the goldfinches. Everything in the backyard works together to make an environment that is friendly and welcoming to birds.
And that includes bushes and trees. They give birds shelter, safety, and a sense of security. More on that in a separate video. Susan's backyard includes a water source for drinking and bathing, and she puts out a variety of feeders and seed. But Susan has more than bag seed and suet in her backyard. Another great way to attract and feed birds is what you can plant in the ground.
Often, a choice in the Midwest is a coneflower. And the beauty of the coneflowers is at the end of the season, when the petals are gone, these seeds are food all winter for the birds.
Sound like a cat? Must be a catbird, named for its mewing-like call.
A lot of times you're going to hear the bird long before you see the bird, so getting to know those songs and calls is important.
Part of the fun and the learning is identifying what you're hearing and seeing. Danessa has a list of 6 things to help you know your birds.
Size, shape, then look at color. What colors do you see? What are the major markings on the bird? Next, you're going to want to look at what's the bird doing. Is it wading in the water? Is it swimming in the water? Is it soaring in the sky? Habitat, where'd you see it? And then finally, the song, the call. What sound does that bird make?
Danessa and Susan advise you may want to grab a field guide, there are plenty, or download any number of websites or apps that identify birds by their looks and sounds. We have another video with their suggestions. From there, the tools of the trade could include a camera or binoculars, but the basics of birding in the backyard or outdoors are the simple senses of sight and sound.
My favorite is going to be the pileated woodpecker, which is about this big. It's as long as the feeder, and when it comes into the backyard, you definitely know it's there.
My favorite bird is the barred owl. I think they're beautiful. I love their sound, their call.
What's that sound like?
The barred owl sounds like he's saying, "Who cooks for you? Who cooks for y'all?" That's what he sounds like.
Well said. For more videos about birds, birding, and other videos, subscribe to or check us out at AAAstateofplay.com.